Okay, so we're adding across for Joe to get our total bid. When we add across, we get 11,200. When you divide that by 4, you get 2,800. Adding across for Tom is 9,600. Divided by 4, you get 2,400. Okay, now we add this one across, we get 9,800. Divide by 4, we get 2,450. The last one we add across, we get 11,200, and we get 2,800 as our fair share. Now, when you get your fair share, important you divide by the number of people. In this case, it's 4. On the test, it could be 4, 5, or 6. So really pay close attention to how many people are involved. That's what you're dividing the total bid by to get your fair share. So, Joe, total bid 11,200. You divide by 4, because there's 4 people to get that fair share. Items go to the biggest or highest bidder. Joe bid the most for the car. Mike bid the most for the theater tickets. The jewelry is going to go to Steve. The television is going to go to Steve. And the computer is going to go to Mike. I'm a fan of giving the items away immediately. Car, ticks, and computer, and you can do it in shorthand, jewelry, and TV. And right away, car, ticks, computer, jewelry, TV. All right, the car is more than the fair share. So when an item is more than the fair share, we're paying the difference. The difference is 2,200. If you don't get an item, you get your complete fair share. So Tom's going to get 2,400. Mike's 2 items. That sum is 550 more than the fair share. And Steve, for the jewelry and TV, those 2 items together, is 1,400 more than the fair share. That's phase 2. Now, I had to pay out $4,150, and $2,400 had to be received. So there is a surplus of $1,750. And when you divide that by 4 to evenly distribute it, that means everyone is getting $437.50. And now I come to my final answer. We subtract the surplus from the payment. So now they pay $1,762.50. Tom is going to get an additional amount of money. He's going to get $2,837.50. Mike is going to now have to only pay $112.50. And finally, Steve pays $962.50. And if you want to check your work and you add up the payments, $1,762.50, $112.50, $962.50. You don't have to do this, but you can. I would encourage you to check it. We get 15, carry the 1. That's 7. 6, 1, and 6, that's 13. 8, 9, and 9, 18. The amount paid is $2,837.50. The amount received is $2,837.50. Payment should equal receive. All right, when we add across our total bid, $362,000. When you divide by 4, we get $90,500. Total bid, $367,000. When you divide by 4, $91,750. Next total bid, $356,000. $356,000 $600, and we get a fair share of $8,901.50, or $89,150, I should say it correctly. And then finally, $357,800. We divide by 4, we get $89,450. And then when I distribute my items, Joe is getting the jewelry, Tom gets the house, Tom gets the tickets, and Tom gets the Disney World trip. Tom's getting quite a bit. The car goes to Mike, and Steve is just going to get his fair share. So, Joe is getting jewelry. I'm going to write it down immediately. Tom gets the house, Tix, and Disney. House, Tix, Disney. Mike, car. Okay, so for the jewelry, Joe gets it. He also gets $87,500. For Tom, we need to add up all the items he's getting. So he's getting $342,000 worth of items, and we subtract that fair share from it. So the $342,000 minus $91,750. Obviously, you'll put that in a calculator, and you get $250,250. The car, we're subtracting $25,000 from, so it's a payment of $64,150. And finally, Steve is just going to get his money, $89,450. And in a lot of problems where you have the one big item, like in this case the house, usually it is going to be one person paying, 3 people receiving money. So the payer is paying $250,250. If you add up the money Joe, Mike, and Steve are supposed to receive, it totals $241,100. When you subtract $9,150. And when you divide that by 4, each person's getting $2,287.50. That's our surplus. My surplus to everyone getting money. And it shouldn't matter the numbers are this big. You have a calculator. $89,787.50. What you're paying, you can subtract that out of your pay. So the surplus gets subtracted from the pay. Okay. So now you only have to pay $247,962.50. For the car, and you get $66,437.50. And finally, Steve is going to get a total of $91,737.50. Once again, I can't stress it enough. You don't actually have to, but I don't know why you wouldn't. I put the 3 gets in my calculator. 437.50. And as long as we're not rounding anything, it should be exact. 0.50 cents, carry the 1. That's 22. 2 and 8 is 10. 16. 15, I believe that's 19. 10 and 6, that's 7. 9 and 9 is 18. The amount of money that you paid out is exactly equal to the amount of money being paid. And that's how you know you're correct.